What's going on, guys? 8-Bit Glitch 79 here, and we've made it to the 7th day of the 12 nostalgic days of Christmas. I hope you're enjoying the series as much as I am and enjoying all the memories that I've shared and that all of our guests have shared so far in the series. So with that, I'd like to kick it off to our first guest this episode. It's Ira Retro Gamer Dad, and I've met Zach, the Ira Retro Gamer Dad, this year. We talked a lot online, back and forth. Sent each other stuff, and it's just been great. He's just been a great friend. He's done some great charity streams, and he did a whole toy drive for the needy, which was great. I really respect that. Something near and dear to my heart, something that I like to do as well. And so please follow his channel, check him out. He's a great dude, and he deserves a lot more subs than he already has. So with that, I want to throw it over to Ira Retro Gamer Dad.
What is up, retro gaming community, nostalgia fans, and beautiful people of YouTube? It is 12 Days of Christmas on 8-Bit Glitch 79's page. He has asked a lot of us to cooperate with going over some nostalgic stuff from when we were kids, mainly around Christmas time. So, there was two things I wanted to talk about quick today. I'll make this quick and easy, so that way you guys can go on and watch some of his other stuff. But growing up, a big part of our Christmas was Christmas Vacation, one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time that I've actually watched outside of Christmas sometimes, just for pure enjoyment.
You know that metal plate in my head?
How can I forget?
I had to have it replaced because every time Catherine revved up the microwave, I'd piss my pants and forget who I was for a half hour or so.
It's my favorite National Lampoon movie, and like I said, besides Die Hard, which is a Christmas movie, guys, I will fight anybody who doesn't agree.
And I want to look him straight in the eye, and I want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no-good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is! Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
But besides Die Hard, you know, like in general, mine even always being my top 10 favorite movies. Anything from quoting it year-round to just pure enjoyment. I mean, everybody always quotes the saying, you see the RV, you see the, the kind of the hillbilly redneck guy, and you always think, shitter's full.
Merry Christmas! Shitter was full!
Stuff like that, just great movie. And it's always been on my my father's side, the Schnack side. It's always been the movie for around the year. We all just die laughing at it, even though we've seen it 100+ times. Like I said, we watch it outside of Christmas even though we've seen it that many times, we all still die laughing. And every year, it is just great to watch. If you have never seen Christmas Vacation, please go see it now. My lifetime goal is one of these years to actually put almost as many Christmas lights as he had up, which would be awesome. Like I said, squirrel, just thinking about it makes me really want to go watch it, guys. Besides that, one of my first very nostalgic video game wise would have to be the year that I got a PlayStation. It was right after they came out, and I remember being so excited. A lot of my friends had Nintendo 64s, and I decided to get a PlayStation because a few of my friends that did have it, it looked really awesome. So when I got my PlayStation for Christmas, I remember that first year I was so excited, super excited. And I remember being so disappointed because the setup on it was so hard to do. back then most TVs didn't have the AV composite and stuff like that, so it took me and my dad probably a few hours to figure out how to even hook this thing up. So that was back when you had to go through, like, you had to basically use a VCR as your setup. So I remember we spending all that time doing that, and then also when I got home I had to have a certain setup and stuff like that. But I remember all of the kids coming over to my house to play. Anytime I went to go spend the night at a buddy's house, he'd always be like, bring your PlayStation. So I'd bring my PlayStation over there. That thing went everywhere with me, and I wish I still had it to this day, but as a kid I ended up trading it off, or it broke, I can't remember now, it's been so long, 20 plus years. But going with that, I remember the very first game I did get for that me and my sister didn't play very many games, but she loved this game too, but we played the crap out of Crash Bandicoot. I don't think I ever beat it, but I remember we played so much Crash Bandicoot. It was insane. But yeah, it's such a great game and such a great console and such a great movie. I want to thank Sean, 8-Bit Glitch 79, for this opportunity to be part of this 12 Days of Christmas. Such a great idea. I had to go back and watch some of his earlier ones. It was so fun to watch. Thank you so much, Sean, for letting me be a part of this. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. And stay retro, my friends. Merry Christmas.
Later, dudes. Let her rip, Hank Penn.
Thanks a lot, Zach, for sharing that. Oh my God. Christmas Vacation has got to be my #1 favorite Christmas movie of all time. I actually remember going and seeing that when it came out in the theaters. I remember going Christmas shopping that day. I went with my sister and her husband's family. He has a ton of brothers and sisters, and his mom and dad, and a ton of people from his family. He has a big family, and I just remember that day going from the malls and the different stores all day, going out to eat for lunch and all that, and then at the end of the day, all going to the theater, all of us, and we must have filled up like 2 rows in the theater to go see that movie when it came out back in '89. And my God, I mean, it was such a great movie. I was like 10 years old or so I think it might have been the perfect time for me to see that. It was. I remember laughing so hard, and ever since then, it's just been a staple movie during this Christmas season for me to watch. And thank you for sharing that. And the PlayStation 1 is such a fantastic console. I remember not really caring about it because I was so into Nintendo and the Super Nintendo and the Genesis at the time, that it was Metal Gear, when I saw that actually got me to buy a PlayStation, and kind of took me down the modern gaming path from then on. So thank you for sharing that. Totally appreciate you, and have a great and happy holiday for you and your family. Okay, so now let's throw it over to our second guest today, and that is the Jchip Show. Jchip Show I've been following for a couple years now, and yeah, we talk on Discord back and forth and in the chats, comment sections, of course. And he does some great VGM unboxings. He does some reviews on some animes. He's been doing some reviews on some games lately. So definitely check out Jchip. He's a great dude, and I appreciate his friendship. So with that, I want to throw it over to Jchip.
Hey guys, Jchip Show here. Thank you so much, 8-Bit Glitch 79, for letting me be a part of this awesome series, and my most nostalgic thing in my room, and there's a lot of them, but one of them that sticks out to me is wrestling related, obviously, and that would be WrestleMania 22. I have been a huge wrestling fan my entire life. I still watch it to this day, and I watch mainly AEW, but WWE is pretty cool too. You can see the cat there. His name's Eddie. He says hi. I remember one Christmas day in 2006. I was 9 years old, and I got some pretty decent gifts. But usually what I like to do is I like to open up the smallest ones first. But my mom insisted that I open up this one last. Now, I didn't watch wrestling week to week because I didn't have cable, and I certainly didn't buy any pay-per-views because they were $50 a month, and I couldn't afford that. So my only way to know what was going on is to get the most recent DVDs, which were kind of pricey, at least for me. But I remember getting this and being blown away because it was the newest WrestleMania at that time, and it was so cool. seeing this WrestleMania, and in my opinion, this is really underrated. Like, this is one of my personal favorite WrestleManias of all time. You got a great main event with Triple H and John Cena, where it tells a great story about the new up-and-comer being this big babyface, and Triple H being this big bad heel that always wins, and you didn't even know if John Cena was going to win. Then you got the triple threat match with Randy Orton, Kurt Angle, and Rey Mysterio, and they were fighting for this title. Great match, emotional match. But the match that I remember the most is the hardcore match with Edge and Mick Foley. Now, in the following month, January rolls around, and my birthday is on January the 5th. So my mom is like, hey, you should invite some people over to have a birthday party. And I was like, you know what, why not? Let's have a birthday party. So I invite some of my friends and some of the other classmates, and they come over. We got plenty of kids, actually, and we all played Mario Kart Double Dash. And it was pretty fun. And then one of them was like, hey, let's watch wrestling because I know you like wrestling. And that came as a shock because they didn't really watch wrestling, but they were at my house, and I guess they wanted to do what I wanted to do because it was my birthday, damn it. And I put on WrestleMania 22, and they weren't into it at first. The first few matches, at least. And then once the hardcore match happens, they were blown away just as I was when I first watched it. They were so into the storyline of Edge and Mick Foley, where Edge had costed Mick Foley the title when it was a special guest referee. Edge was the big bad heel. He just lost the WWE title to John Cena. And he was going on a craze because he lost what he wanted so much. And now he's targeting Mick Foley because he feels like he got screwed. And then you got Mick Foley being this hardcore legend, and it was a brutal match. And there's a ton of blood, ton of violence, ton of barbed wire, and a flaming table. I mean, what more could you want? And everybody was just flipping out. Everybody was excited, and everybody was kind of pissed at the outcome of that match. And they were kind of in awe because they never seen anything like that. And it was really cool. And I think what makes WrestleMania 22 so nostalgic to me is because it was one of those things where my friends who weren't into wrestling decided to give it a try, and they ended up liking it. And I thought that was kind of cool. And I still have the DVD copy to this day. This DVD is jam-packed with a ton of features. You get the Hall of Fame of 2006 with Bret Hart and Eddie Guerrero being inducted that year. You also get an entire episode of Saturday Night's Main Event, the reboot, relaunch, whatever it was. And it was pretty cool because you got two events in one DVD pack. And it was awesome. And I watched it daily. Then I went and I moved to a different school in Minnesota. And I had a bunch of friends who were into wrestling, and we all bonded over this. And this became our favorite WrestleMania of all time. And this is still one of my favorite WrestleManias of all time. It's so nostalgic to me, and I just love it so much. Again, thank you so much, 8-Bit Glitch 79, for letting me be a part of this awesome series. You're a great dude. I hope you, your family, and anybody that's watching this has a good and safe Christmas.
Thanks a lot for sharing that, Jchip. Yeah, wrestling, for me, I was big into it when I was a kid, so that was the 80s. So you had, Andre the Giant, you had Hulk Hogan, Jake the Snake, Macho Man, The Warrior, Ultimate Warrior, The Sheik. I could go on and on, but that was when I really followed wrestling big, and I totally got into it. Now, I didn't get to see it at my house because I didn't have cable or anything, but whenever we went over to my aunt's house to visit, my uncle was big into it, and he would always have it on, and that kind of what drew me in and opened that world to me, was being over at his house and seeing that. So thanks a lot for sharing that. It brings back some memories, of course. So with that, I guess I need to talk about my pick for this episode, and I chose to talk about He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I am Adam, Prince of Eternia and defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. This is Cringer, my fearless friend. Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull!" became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe.
Now, this was one of my favorite cartoons when I was a young kid growing up. And again, as I mentioned, I didn't have cable TV, so there was no way for me to see this when it was out. The only way I saw it was when I went over to my aunt's and when I played with their neighbors, who were my friends I've mentioned before in this series last year and this year. Whenever it would go over it and it would catch it on TV, I would sit and watch it, and I totally appreciated it every time I got to see it, because like I said, I never got to see it all the time, so I loved it when it was on. And of course, I probably spent more time playing with the toys than the show, because obviously I couldn't watch it on a regular basis. And I actually recently found a bunch of my toys in my parents' attic pretty recently, and I won't show them all, but I'll show my original He-Man, and this is the battle chest damage one, and it still works there. So yeah, I have a few of my other ones. I had Castle Grayskull. That was a pretty iconic Christmas back in what was it, 86 or 87, and we didn't have a video camera or anything, but my father hid a cassette tape and recorded the audio of that Christmas, and I just recently got a hold of that, and I might share some of that in the final episode of the series. But yeah, that was the year I got my Castle Grayskull and a bunch of stuff. It was like the best Christmas ever, and I'll be talking about that later in a future episode of this. But yeah, so this is my original He-Man, and also I dug out Tila here, who has a broken neck apparently. I think Prince Adam got a little rough with her, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so again, the show, I loved it so much. I love the toys even more. I had a more connection with the toys than the show, I would say. But one thing that really set me off when I was about 8 years old was the live action movie. When I found out they were making a live action movie, I knew I had to go see it. And my sister's husband at the time, who I played NES with all the time, he was kind of excited about it and too, and so he was the one who took me to go see it. And I remember going and bringing my He-Man in the theater with me to see it. Yeah, so Masters of the Universe, I have another big connection with this, because I saw this when it came out in theaters, and I remember it just like it was yesterday. I was so excited, and I love this movie. I know it gets a lot of hate and stuff, but I just love this movie. I think I'll always love it, and I know they're making a brand new live action movie, but this is always going to be my Masters of the Universe live action. I mean, I thought Langella did a fantastic job as Skeletor. Sure, he didn't have that voice like in the cartoon, but I thought he brought the Skeletor that was just perfect for a live action.
Everything comes to he who waits. And I have waited so very long for this moment.
Where is your strength? Where is it gone? Look at your precious sorceress. An old crone, weak, withering, dying. Are you ready to kneel now, proud warrior?
The moon rises to its apex.
Do you hear? The Alpha and the Omega, death and rebirth, and as you die, so will I be reborn.
His acting and the portrayal he did and the makeup was just perfect. I thought he was like top notch. I mean, Lundgren, he had the look, of course. I mean, he's not the greatest actor, but you know what? He had the look, and in the 80s, that was what you really wanted. It was about the looks and the action back in the 80s. Acting was kind of like subpar to everything else in movies. But yeah, so I truly love this movie, and it will always hold a special spot in my heart. So with that, guys, that concludes our episode 7. Please subscribe, hit that bell, hit that like, because we'll be releasing the day 8 tomorrow, and all the way up to Christmas Eve to day 12. So until then, guys, this is 8-Bit Glitch 79, and I'm glitching out.